We will be discussing, like we have already discussed about the themes which are there in the APR IGF and the themes which are there in the yIGF and how they coincide with each other. And what is the relevance of all these themes and how we will like create a policy statement which will be merged with the synthesis document of APR IGF. Now, can you share the screen? Yeah. Yeah. And I hope each one of you has marked your attendance for the afternoon session so that we can like provide you with the certificates.
This link is different from the morning session, so please mark your attendance. Okay, we have a few participants joining us now.
For those just joining, if you don't have tags yet, please come to the front.
Can we like change the screen?
So I hope everyone has marked their attendance. So we will just go to the next slide now.
Yeah. So in this segment, we will be like dealing with the idea wall. Within this idea wall, we have like used one application. The name of the application is Flinga. Within this application, we would be like sharing that PPT, or you can say that that application wherein we would want you to share your perspective, the issues which are there in your jurisdiction and you would like to raise. That could help us bifurcate these issues under three overarching themes of the APR IGF and the segments of the yIGF which we have discussed previously as well as which we will be discussing going forward. These are some of the guidelines. So this is the idea wall guideline. Once we will be sharing the link with you, make sure you select the any of the color which is available there, any type of the shape, and the message which you would like to share. Like for example, if I'm from India, and if I think from the idea wall perspective, so basically there are three overarching themes. One is security and trust, the other one is resilience, and the last one is ethical emergence of AI. Then I would say that in my country, I would like more robust AI regulations. This is my idea. I can place that particular idea under the ethical governance of AI segment. Maybe purple color or maybe a square shape of in a square shape of message, and that would be like a sticky note which we have to make sure that we are pasting under the appropriate overarching theme. And second, once you click send, you will have that message wherein you can drag that message under the particular respective overarching theme and can place that. At the end of that, we will see what all are the ideas or what all are the issues which you guys are currently facing, and we will discuss on that later in this segment. Can we change the slide? So this is the link. Hmm. Yeah. I hope it's opening in like each and every one of your devices. Is it working? Fine.
Can we proceed?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the participants who are joining us through the local hub and the online participants, they can also like share their ideas, what are the concerns which they are currently facing, and and make sure that you place these ideas under the respective overarching themes so that we can analyze or we can discuss this at a later stage in a holistic way or in a proper manner.
You all can start sharing your ideas and concerns in the idea wall now.
Maybe you can add one sample and then
Okay.
if you have any problem in bifurcation of the idea which you are sharing, whether this would fall under this area, you can always like reach out to us. We can have that discussion whether this particular idea fall under that category or any other category. Anyone have any questions? Participants online or maybe participants who are there at the local hub, any questions?
I think they're all good, Samir. Thank you.
Thanks, Pia.
Also, guys, if you're unsure whether it's like security and trust or resilience, we can see here there's someone who wrote on content moderation. You can put it in between. So it's totally fine.
Yeah, there might be issues which are like relevant for the security and trust, as well as for the resilience, as well as for ethical governance of AI. So it's perfectly fine if you place any of the issues in the middle of the line or maybe in the particular respective overarching theme. Are we done? Is there any confusion with respect to the idea which you may have, or you would like to discuss that with the audience here?
Maybe we could read out some of the notes
Yeah.
just to get things going a bit.
So under the security and trust, like these are the prevalent issues which we are currently facing. Data privacy, online safety. How many of you have like opted for data privacy?
On that note, we might just want to break into groups. Like I think we see like a lot of purple, blue, and green, so it's a bit quiet, and I think breaking up into groups will sort of. Hello. So yeah, we might have like better discussions in smaller groups because you should find like people who have like commonalities with you. And could we just know like who wrote in ethical governance of emerging tech?
Yeah.
Just raise your hand. Like, come on, there's so many comments.
Maybe
It can't just be two people. Okay.
I think we all do not like any attention. That's fine too, but I guess you guys like have already had a lot of like input. How about we maybe split into like 3 group on site? I mean, for the remote ones, it's hard to break out groups right now. So remote participant can continue with like contributing individually. But I guess for local hubs as well as people in Taipei right now, we can breaks into 3 group based on the topics, and then perhaps you guys can chat a little bit more, expand on whatever points you see here, because eventually this will inform you, and you know, and you come up with something for your youth statement.
Right. So I think each one of us on-site organizing committee, we can take one of the tracks. So Samir can be security and trust. So maybe you'd like to go over there, and whoever is interested in that topic could
Yeah,
go
sure.
join Samir, and he will facilitate the discussion.
Yeah, and we won't ask you and
Right.
call you out. So you just like move over there.
And whoever's interested in resilience can be with Ankita. So maybe you can head to a different part of the room. And last but not least, ethical governance of emerging tech can be Nat. So whoever's interested in that track can come over here.
Yeah.
And then you can also switch group as you see fit, because you know, it's not like so binary.
Right.
You can move
So
around.
if you feel the discussion is boring, you can move to another track.
So people who would like to be the part of the security and trust segments, like they can join me. Guys, please.
I know we have like a lot of engagement because we are doing it in a hybrid format, but then we might as well, you know, take this opportunity to talk to people in person.
Hi, Samir.
Oh,
Hi,
Resilience.
Samir. Hi.
Resilience.
We have already met.
Ethical is Natana.
So what are the
Yeah, please have a seat. Uh, can we share the presentation on the screen? Samir, can we have the presentation?
Nat, keep a mic with you just in case.
Okay.
Resilience team, please sit here.
Wait, what is
There.
Luke?
Resilience. Yeah.
I'll go because I don't know what mean resilience.
All right.
I'll just.
Oh, we have a very small team on resilience. Are you joining us? That's great.
Okay.
Are you joining us? Yeah. Okay, so
I'll just umbrella there. Lại có lại
Just unmuting myself for the online participants. So for the local hubs, please feel free to talk with one another, sharing on the, what you'll be adding on the
Bear. Hi, Bear.
Chica.
I think you was a bit off earlier, like it was lagging. Couldn't hear what you say.
Yep. Just shouting out to the local hubs if they can discuss a little bit. Yeah. And maybe to other remote participants, if they could share in the chat box on what they added.
I'm wondering how many of us here online have been add something to the board because really
Sorry,
cannot
sorry.
find
I've
been
anyone.
Sorry,
Thanks.
Sochita and Bea, if it's not too much, if it's not too much for you guys to start a breakout room or something, can you guys like start a breakout rooms and get in there? Because if you guys speak in the main room, we're gonna hear from here as well. But
LOL, we're sorry.
no, it's okay. Yeah.
Can we?
I mean, this is somewhat spontaneous, which happens every time in yIGF
Yeah.
because we adopt the environment just swiftly without, just like fixated on what we planned it. So, Bea, if you can quickly start the breakout rooms and assign the remote participant in the room, then you guys can chat whatever you want and then come back to the main room later. What time should we come back?
Okay. Yeah, what time? Please let us know.
30 minutes? 25 minutes.
25? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Bea.
Thank you.
So you were saying sorry. Okay, so can you share about the issue which you added in the residence? And we don't, you're not using.
Sorry. Yeah, for the resilience, I think it's better if we make like environments to the children and youth. For the environment for the children and youth to know the digital literacy, because mostly in the Asia or in the middle country or developed country, the curriculum is not yet become the mandatory from the Ministry of Education for the digital literacy. So, but maybe for the other countries, like Singapore is already like.
Sorry to interrupt you guys, but while you're discussing, do take notes, because after this we'll have like one representative come out from each group to share what you guys have been talking about. Please continue.
they want to know from the internet. So it's become even teaching method that people in this years, yeah. So they have to use high-speed technology and also move to the digital space in education.
Okay.
So, what was your challenge under resilience of internet?
Yeah.
And please introduce yourself.
Okay, I'm from School Public Policy Chiangmai. I'm work as a like a human-centric perspective.
Okay.
So I put on the two things. First thing on the first one is meeting fatigue, which means like we do online, we do things online in everyday life, and we cannot bear with this, and like it's too much for us. And so the next one is like I put on the mental breakdown. That's like that the mental breakdown is the effect from the meeting fatigue. The meeting fatigue is included the things that we have to online like this, do like the conference, do the meetings.
Also, just one note that could help facilitate your discussions. You can look towards the sessions in APIGF because they are according to these tracks as well, and that will help you in the upcoming days to find sessions that you're interested in, and you can take some of the notes from their descriptions as well because each session does have a description. I hope that helps.
Sorry.
Yeah. Finally, after we are doing we have like this. I not claim the online is not good, but if we doing this too much, we might like expect the result more than the human can do in daily life. Yeah. So that this thing I think this is quite challenging for all of us. Eventually, we are human. We not superpower. We not AI. We not like you know we have limited life. Okay, it's my point. Thank you.
Do you have any solutions or anything like we can do to curb this
I
challenge?
would say the design process, default design, the regulation process. Default, we have to think about we are human, we have limited resources. If we are doing online, we should have a time to break as much as we can, after COVID. Let's say we have 8 hours for doing in daily 9 to 5. We can do. I used to like meeting for like 5 meetings a day. It's too much because of the time slot they are have like 1 to 3, 3 to 5 like this. But no one doesn't think about the break, about the time to relax, to eat, to get to the toilet. Like on site, like on site we can like move, go and out. But online you have to concentrate. You have to somebody to ask me to like open your camera, please. Is that too much for like the human being? Yeah. But I think that the design is it quite be it could be help. Like we have the design, the good design, good default, and good delivery. Yeah.
That's a very good point that you mentioned. I actually heard this term for the first time, meeting for day. But yeah, it's really nice.
The new narrative.
Yeah, yeah. So now, Al, do you want to share something with the group?
What's the question?
So,
Sorry. I'm only
we are,
human.
yeah. So we are the resilience team, and
Yeah.
what is the issue that you face under that team? And just share.
It's
Why
related to
resilience? Yeah. What did you share? Yes.
Yep.
Hi.
I think just got
Sorry.
it just got in. It just got.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, resilience. Okay, I wouldn't say I have any like expert knowledge, but shut down. Sorry.
Guys,
Internet shutdown. I've been working on digital rights for
Anything at all that is available through
only here activists from
big action. For example, they could be
where
listening to their calls,
where
to
it's done
open up their
that
cameras
shut
or
down.
access their email communication, anything at all. And
What's
the
the word?
government has very little regulation to deal with
Commanded by
the use of this kind of
state.
spyware.
case, it's particularly complicated because the state itself uses it. So very little accountability to start with, but also when it comes to private actors using spyware or surveillance technology, there's also very little framework to govern these kind of
kind of
usages as well.
mitigate the impact of internet shutdowns on specifically the right to student participation.
Answer this question because she's joining us from ISOC, and I suppose ISOC also works on internet shutdown.
Yeah. So I think that when you think about internet shutdown, something to think about is that there has to be a lot of advocacy work done to make sure that the governments involved understand the impacts of the shutdown. So while maybe their goal was to shut down public discourse, it actually is doing a lot more. It's shutting down online business, online commerce, and there's a lot of other things that happen on the internet that are beyond just political discourse. And then something else that comes from internet shutdowns is making sure that there is very decentralized governance. So the telecom companies don't have the power to just shut down. So they make sure there are checks and balances so that it's not that one person has the opportunity to shut everything down. There would have to be a lot more steps in place to make sure that there is somewhere in the process where someone can say, oh no, this cannot stand, this cannot happen. So I think that it has to be a multi-level approach. But when it comes, I think the main part, at least in my opinion, and not necessarily because of ISAC, this is my opinion, is decentralized governance. So it's not just in the hands of the telecom companies, and also making sure that there's advocacy so the people who would have an interest in shutting down the internet understand that the effects are so much more than just shutting down discourse.
And also, I just wanted to share that at least in the Philippines, 4 years ago, our national grid was, I don't know, I was just a baby and didn't understand it then, but I believe a part of it was sold to the government of China. And there was a possibility for people were going to shut down the national power grid. So, yeah, so it's, I think the issue isn't just like within sovereign states, it's transnational.
To give a little more context, I think that because the Philippines has a lot of debt with China, and they weren't able to pay it, they, instead of defaulting on their debt, one way they repaid it was giving up a piece of their digital sovereignty. So that it was one way to kind of repay the debt, but of course that comes with like 20,000 other issues. Yeah.
You said that could you explain more about to the people in power that shutting down internet cannot probably like a very simple solution to all the political disparities, but at the same time bring a lot of issues, right? I think the problem with like people in power who wants to shut down the internet doesn't actually care. Yes, they actually don't care if it's going to like shut down the medical system or if it's going to if it's going to like make the country be in debt or something. If they stay in power, then it doesn't matter. I think that's the like stance that those people in power are going to make. So maybe like putting in more resources into like as you said, like putting into like decentralized internet and possibly for like people who cannot be touched by that country's law to be in charge of some parts, and some parts are in charge by the people in that country, and like making it globalized is probably one way to go because actually South Korea, well, we are very, I guess, democratic, but but when long time ago when actually like 7 years ago when like Japanese invasion was a thing, and you know it wasn't the age of internet, but there was media, like media still had it, and one way the Korean, a lot of the Korean newspapers escaped the shutdown of the internet was the CEO and a lot of people really, you know, media personalities. Other issues that come with like arresting other people who are also in power and probably is going to be allied or not the part. So from that kind of thing, but actually but the ownership was in like Korean
Yeah, I like the way you say that. It's almost like if we make it a global checks and balances system, every country has a stake in the internet surviving in another part of the world. And if we make it a collective responsibility, collective accountability, it's not like one person can shut it off or an adversary can come in and do it. It would take a lot of, yeah, exactly. Yeah, and also the thing you said at first I thought was so interesting that like I was thinking, like I misunderstood. I thought, oh well, of course they wouldn't want to shut down commerce. They wouldn't, but like you're right, it's not their priority. If they don't care.
Right now we experience scams and
So we have to like look through their eyes and look through like use their brain.
getting more
Yeah, 100%. So thank you for saying that. That like definitely brought a lot of insight for me.
They can also communicate with people from our Kyrgyzstan.
5 to 10 years.
I just want to say
Is it like?
I think that's optimistic.
Maybe because like the satellites internet is also like a thing, right?
yeah.
So like wars, I think, from a data scientist perspective, it's like a nightmare come true because there are so many different types of like internet in the world. But if there is that many types of internet in the world, then nobody can shut down like the whole thing.
Is either of you have been victim of internet shutdown ever?
I'm lucky enough to say no.
Yes.
No, I don't.
I have been like so. India has been number one country in internet shutdown since like last 5 years, I suppose.
Wow.
Yeah. So they even shut down internet during state exams to avoid cheating. That's the reason that they give. So this is from the state which I am coming from. So the state government orders like switching or shutting down the internet to avoid cheating. So I don't like people are not aware about like they don't have this power to do that. Like legally they can do because they are making the laws, but they should not do that. So yeah, that's the issue that we face in India quite a lot. Yeah, but I really like what you shared with all of us. And anyone else who would like to add something to this or any other issue that you want to talk about?
I have one thing I would like to bring up is when I think about resilience, I think a lot about natural disasters and the way that not only can we survive it, but bounce back easily. And when you think about the internet, so much of it relies on physical infrastructure. And now we have things like Starlink, where a lot of it is satellite, it's not easier. But when you have physical infrastructure in a country, it's very vulnerable. So like when we, after a natural disaster, the internet is so valuable because that is how we're able to connect to resources, connect to loved ones, and all of that. So like how do we protect the physical infrastructure to make sure that when we're coming back from natural disaster, that we're able to bounce back? Because it's so sensitive at the end of the day. The server is sensitive.
It actually helps to bounce back. It actually helps people to bounce back from that disaster itself. Because like I remember when like there was like it was a small earthquake, but for some reason the cellular data was totally out, and then I just couldn't contact my dad who was at work, and we were like, is he like okay? Because that building is like 80 years old. So I was like,
It was not built to live.
it was like, is he okay? And I was like, and the glasses were like, some of the glasses were shattered in the downtown. I heard. I was like, is he okay? And like nobody could call. Like we had to like find, and because in our country the home phone is like gone. There's only cell phones left. So home phones are gone. So we had to like find some person's like home phone to call, and then he wasn't at his office at the time, so it just didn't work. So I feel like to make people not go into like terror and like hysteria, like that internet recovery, fast recovery is really good. The thing I was most curious about, what if like about the electricity part, like the cable itself is like very important as well, but like what if the electricity itself like goes out, and what happens? That was like I'm not like knowledge enough to know about electronics, so I'm always curious about like what happens.
Yeah. Both my favorite.
We need to have for like our especially of the use of big fish, like how we can use it more efficiently, not just like not for the use of like
Claire, what you shared just right now about the physical infrastructure, do we have, like, is someone working on that issue? Like, do we have something going on globally?
I honestly, I'm curious to know more about it. I'm not positive if there has to be someone thinking about it. I can't have been the first person in the world to have brought this up. And if I am, we're in big trouble.
There's countries that have earthquakes or like floods
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah.
They should have something up because it takes more money to like rebuild it every single time, right?
I think we had earthquake in Thailand. Yeah, please.
Actually, we do have that kind of debate about how to alternate infrastructure to maintain the connectivity between islands of Taiwan. Because we also have some we have our fibers undersea got cut accidentally by some big part. Yes, each system we do have to do. So now there are we do have that kind of microwave to transmit data through the air, but to make sure that to some extent the connectivity is still maintained. But that's the debate that happened in the forum under the big umbrella of education during the maybe a coastal disaster. There is a quite about so I think that kind of debate can be a little bit far from reducing by heavily invested infrastructure. So
Enabled in itself by AI should still be considered under the umbrella, but just because it's made by AI doesn't take that responsibility away from the person who control shipping routes and everything of where the internet cables are. And whatever that does not fall under the umbrella still will dominate new laws will
And it completely disseminates. It's a cable, and that can cut off, I mean, for example, Azerbaijan has one cable. That gives the entire country internet. So if that cable is cut, you're just like done.
Shut down.
And I once read this story that some woman in Kazakhstan was building digging a well, and she found this cable. She didn't know what it was, and she cut through it. And then she shut down the internet. And when someone told her about it, she was like, "What was the internet?" And they ended up not giving her any punishment. They didn't know what she was doing. But it becomes an awareness issue, right? So people don't understand how the internet works and how the internet is spread. And people think that there's these cables underneath the ground that are, indestructible. They're not, right? So making sure people genuinely know that, like, you can't just drop your anger onto this and still cut down the internet.
It just makes things more complicated.
at least know when your car is broke down, right?
Yes. Yeah. Know that your car has an engine.
Know that if it starts to steam, you have to run out, right?
So I need to find the name of the project, but I'll post it somewhere. I'll share it. Yes. Yeah. But I don't know if it's an actual project, but it was like advocacy campaign. People about cables, so they can understand the impacts that different shipping routes and boats and anything like that. So yeah. Of course. Yeah, it's so interesting.
So let's go to some other issue.
Hi everyone, just a note, we have 5 minutes left for the discussion. So I hope you have chosen the representative for your groups and are finalizing your sharings. Or if you're feeling a bit shy, you can have 2, 3 at most. Just an announcement to the online participants. The on-site participants are wrapping up in about 2 minutes. Please bear with us. Thank you.
Associated with racial profiling, because usually it's not like the way they implement them is not based on the actual risk profiles or their actual involvement with the insurgency, but rather whether they're Muslims. So it's something that the local population there has been talking about a lot because of the lack of regulation, and also even though there may be some regulations, especially when it comes to DNA collection. These regulations don't really apply because there are like exemptions in the name of national security. With the DNA, sadly no, but for future regulation it's really obscure. The government revealed bits and pieces of how they want to use spatial data, and they mentioned AI, but there's very little transparency. So I think this has to do with the need for regulation for more transparency as well in terms of how they're planning to use it. It's largely led by the security forces.
Final minute for the on-site participants.
We're all pessimists. The only topic that I embrace, the rest is just ideas, like just typing some from to exactly what which business can I start. Actually, I did. Yeah, it's also good. I don't record this negative. I know, right?
10 seconds. Okay, and time's up for everyone. So can I just Okay, guys, time's up. Bea, can I just check if the online participants are all ready?
Yep, we're all good over here.
Okay, maybe we can start with the online. Like, Bea, do we have any representatives from any breakout room in Zoom?
Ooh, okay. We actually didn't really assign anyone here to share, but maybe in our local hubs, maybe any of the local hubs would like to share what they discussed
Right, for the
or
on-site
what.
participants, can we pay attention to the Zoom room now? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Luke. So maybe anyone from the local hubs, maybe they can share what they discussed during, or what we discussed actually during the breakout session, or anyone else on the team. Maybe I can call on Amelia. Amelia, are you able to maybe share a little bit of what we discussed? Sorry, I voluntold you.
Okay, that's fine. So we basically like just covered mainly two topics, like the middle one, the resilience. We don't talk that much about
For the
that.
on-site participants, could you please just sit
But the
down
first
and
one,
listen to what our online friends have to say? Yeah, before you start moving.
okay. So for the first topic about the security and trust, we kind of delve into the data privacy concern, especially for the youth. I think, and then
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, for some people, there's like some of our friends in the online group, like the example is like when one's data being used for to confront others, and necessarily like the misuse of the privacy, the data privacy, as well as we also discussed about the ethical governance of emerging tech. We touched about the AI at the bias in the AI systems. So we kind of need the human in the loop principle or rights, especially for AI. Like humans are actively involved in the training of AI. Also, we need the feature or the rights to request human involvement in automation decision-making process in AI. Like so people could opt for human intervention in their process because AI might perpetuate biases present in their training data, and human oversight becomes crucial to identify and also rectify biased outcomes to ensure fairness and ethical considerations. As well, we also discussed about the deepfake, the concern of deepfake under the ethical governance of emerging technologies. For example, like deepfakes are being used for fake videos of celebrities or like to trick people. This is like from Yu Teng, the idea as well. Like I think it's also crucial for the election process. Like misinformation combines with deepfakes really like become, I think, the current nightmare in the election period. So yeah, I think those two aspects that we have discussed in the online participants forum. Thanks.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much. Do we have another volunteer from the local hub, or can we ask the on-site participants to report back now?
We have
We
one from the local hub in Batangas City.
Okay, please go ahead. And you only have 2 minutes to report back, so please uh, be aware of the time. Thank you.
Now, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So, for us, we put some top points in the security and trust, mainly what we have learned in our networking classes. And so we put their DHCP starvation, DHCP spoofing, and man-in-the-middle attacks, which is in the end of the security and trust. So mainly because in our online-based society today, everything is implemented and done online. So of course, each person from our classes, we have learned that each person online is receiving a dynamic IP address, and so these attacks involves the the ma the bad manipulation of those IP address, which is example the DHCP spoofing, which is a hacker in easy terms, a hacker manipulating the IP address so that the information will be sent to them, thereby getting access to your sensitive data. So in conclusion, the security and trust, the main problems that we can point out are this related to the IP address of the persons.
All right, thank you so much. Can we give a round of applause to them? All right. Thank you. Now we will begin with the on-site participants. So first we will begin with my group, Resilience, and we will have Eugene to report back. Can we give her a round of applause? Thank you.
Okay, the mic works. Hello, I'm Eugene from the Resilience Group, and we actually discussed quite a lot of topics. The first one was about the data. So we have all the personal data in so many different websites, and they're usually very big domains, but they're not always able to keep up with their business, and sometimes they do go out of business. Then what do we do with our data? So sometimes they allow us to download our data or convert into different sites, but then there comes the issue of, is this data convertible or is this data usable after I download it, right? So there comes with the issue of data formatting, and I thought to maintain our internet and our data in a usable way, then there has to be some kind of solution to the formats. Either it has to be easy to convert, or it has to be in a specific format like type of cables we use, like C-type or 8 pins or something like that, right? So there was the first issue. And the second issue that we talked about was actually about the humanity that is behind the internet. So during the COVID, because everything was converted back to the online to make our world more safer, at first we didn't realize that human could be fatigued from all the online meetings or everything that has been happening online. So we have to maintain our internet resilience. We have to also think about the humans behind the scene. And that led to the digital literacy problem and how we needed to make everybody at least informed about how the internet works to actually, how to explain this? To make our internet last longer, we have to inform our future and ourselves that the internet works in a specific way, and we have to do not make certain mistakes to keep the internet up. And this also ties to the physicality of the internet. So internet is connected by the cables. That means if the cable is cut down by some if the sailing boat arcs down in the wrong places, it can actually cut the cable, and the whole country's internet could be shut down. So then there's actually, from what I heard, there's actually a current education system going on about how to inform the people of the of the internet's working and the physicality of the internet to prevent that kind of things happening. And sometimes an attack by somebody's intent could happen and shut down the internet. And to might get the risk of internet shutdown, there is a need for us to make our internet more diverse and for the stakeholders of the internet to be more diverse. For example, if a government wants to shut down its own internet, but if the internet's owner, some part of the owner or the stakeholders are from the foreign community or from someone that they cannot touch, the internet cannot be shut down, right? So it has to be more diverse in the way. Was there anything else?
No, I think we are good. You
Oh,
shared
okay,
everything,
so I
yeah.
think that covered our discussion. Thank you
Great.
for listening.
Thank you so much.
And from the security and trust, we have Donna and Kenneth. Guys.
I'm so sorry. Okay, so before we begin, wait, what was I gonna say? But I just want to ask everyone here a question. Okay, the moment you landed in Taiwan, nobody really had connection to internet unless you connected directly to the airport Wi-Fi, right? But does anyone know anyone accepted any terms and conditions on the way for using Wi-Fi? Right? Probably all of us, right? So that's what I'm beginning my group's topic for today. So we discussed a lot about security and trust. So how do we define trust? And how is it that whenever we see a terms and conditions page connecting to a Wi-Fi page, we just instantly press agree without really reading through all of the terms and conditions? So one of the examples that we discussed in our group is that there was a case of a man who went to Disneyland, okay? He went to Disneyland, he got injured, and then he decided to sue Disneyland. And then Disney says, no, you can't sue us because according to terms and conditions that you signed for Disney Plus, you're not supposed to hold us liable for any, injuries that you might have. So this is basically what's happening right now. I think it's in the US. And so that's one thing that we kind of covered. How readable are the terms and conditions? And how is it that we are easily able to trust such big corporations without really looking at the fine print? I get that one partly because of convenience. Nobody really has the time to go through the terms and conditions. We just want to get things over with. And another example that we kind of use while we were discussing is when you're at the airport and you want to get your SIM card that you ordered online, you have to show your passport, right? But have you asked why you need to show your passport and how are they really handling information about your passport? So that's also one of the things that we discussed. And another thing that I'll be moving on towards is cybersecurity awareness. So, how do we deal with so many scams that's happening all around the world? So one example from our group that was mentioned was a case in Vietnam where whenever you want to transfer big amounts of money, you basically need to scan a biometric. So your fingerprint or your face, or maybe they'll send you a one-time password on your phone. Now, the thing is, scams have become so common and so complicated to the point where one of our members basically said, you can just put a picture of you, the scammers can just get your picture and then use that to scan the biometric thing and confirm that it's you, right? It's because people have such ready access to our information. It makes it so difficult for us to kind of make sure that we're not gonna get scammed or make sure that our money is safe in one spot. So that's also one thing that we discussed. And we thought that maybe one of the reasons why this is happening is because governments, especially here in Asia, all of our systems, the way our knowledge about technologies and scams are so outdated to the point where one of my group members, Kenneth, mentioned that we should be really learning from these hackers and scammers because they're several steps ahead of us, several steps ahead of the government. All right, so that's one thing that we discussed about the outdated equipment that governments have to prevent scams and to safeguard the information of citizens in countries. And lastly, for my end, I'll also be discussing the current government policies that we have. So how is the government trying to safeguard our information? For Hong Kong, for banks, one thing that they try to do is they try to send push messages or push notifications where they'll be like, banks will never ask you to click on this link. Banks will never ask for your password. Banks will never blah, 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 blah. So these are the kind of small steps that the Hong Kong government or Hong Kong corporations are doing. But, even with these scams, they're still prevalent in every single part of different countries. So how exactly are we going to tackle this? And maybe Kenneth might tackle the rest. Thanks.
Thank you, Donna. So, hi everybody. I'm Kenneth Pamintuan. I'm one of the 3 Kenneths here, I think. To add on to what Donna said, just regarding what kind of things that the government, governments from different countries, what are they doing to enable and protect data privacy and everyone's security. For an example, here in the Philippines, just like in Hong Kong, they also send a lot of push notifications, and they also send emails. Only trust emails from this link, because from this link and from this email address, because there's a lot of tendencies to have scammers have really convincing. I think there was one time a few years ago, my parents fell victim to a scam for a bank recently because it looks really similar to the layout. And basically what happened was the email, because when you check an email, you have to press another button. You have to press another button, and then if you check the email, instead of an O, it's a 0. So it's a really balancing. It's a thing to balance and a thing to take note of. So innovating solutions. What I mentioned earlier in the group was with end users. You actually help end users as well. There are a lot of content creators, for different types of things, but there are some content creators that I really recommend for everyone to listen to. There are a lot of content creators that provide information about online etiquette, online social media safety. For example, what I mentioned earlier was, I'm pretty sure since all of us flew within Taiwan since yesterday or 2 days ago, I'm pretty sure a lot of us have the tendency to post on Facebook, post on Instagram stories the day of that we're here in Taiwan. And little do we know that there are actually a lot of consequences to having that information out there. And myself included, I'm also falling victim to this because I'm guilty as charged, basically. But yeah, it's a lot of things to really take note of. As mentioned earlier, with the government having outdated technology and having outdated knowledge, I mentioned earlier that in a way, because we have these problems with scams and we send information to the government in order for them to safeguard us, but since they have these outdated technology and knowledge, we kind of funnel it and we kind of make the scammers' lives easier because they have outdated tech. So what happens when everyone's information from the country is put into the government and the government has outdated tech? Then they will hack the government. So it really goes both ways. So the only way to safeguard it is a two-way prong approach, or basically many sides. And there are a lot of different angles when it comes to security and trust. So what you have noticed here, we really focused on the financial angle and also really taking note on what can be possible, what can be feasible. So that's it. Yeah, thank you.
Now we will have from group number 3. Yeah. So.
Hi everyone, I'm Carice, and I am the sacrificial lamb from Group 3, Ethical Governance. So after a discussion with everyone in my group, we've come to a consensus that there's a lack of regulation surrounding AI technologies. Data protection laws are still being drafted in certain countries right now, so it's not quite there yet, where we want it to be at least. And there's lack of access and digital literacy for marginalized groups within the countries. And the 3 common themes we've identified, the first one is environmental impact. There's a lack of awareness surrounding power consumption of generative AI. And some people may not even know, but one generative AI image consumes the amount of power equivalent to charging 15 mobile devices. And not many people know that. The mining of natural resources required to build these machines also negatively impact the local communities where these minerals and resources are sourced from. And there's a growing need to track, monitor, and regulate the power consumption among
other environmental impacts of emerging technologies. The other theme we've identified is data privacy. Data is used to train these AI models, but there's a lack of transparency surrounding where these sources of data are scraped from. We're talking about how like AI gets data from and why do they know certain information. And this information can even consist of sensitive info regarding people and our interests, what we know, what we've shared with the AI. In fact, there's also quite a popular news article I read once of a big tech giant in Korea. So some software engineers decided to paste their code into ChatGPT and get ChatGPT's help to debug that code. So little did they know, a few days or weeks after that, that code ended up on someone else's computer when they asked ChatGPT to write them code. So that's the potential risk with AI. Whatever you tell AI, you potentially risk someone else finding out what you told generative AI. So I think that's a very important risk that we have to keep in mind when we interact with these technologies. Additionally, spyware. Little framework to govern the usage of spyware from a Thailand context. Another one of my group mates mentioned biometric surveillance. So in Thailand, there is a potential lack of transparency regarding how biometric surveillance is misused to conduct racial profiling of Muslim minorities, because this contains sensitive data of their facial recognition and whatnot. So governments may potentially misuse this for their own agenda if there's no transparency surrounding its use. Finally, proliferation of cybercrime, for example, scams and frauds, especially from a Philippines context. AI tech not just enables you to finish your homework and assignments, it enables scammers to also make convincing scams that target vulnerable populations. So governments should raise awareness and education surrounding the topic, like how the group 2 mentioned earlier, how certain governments would write SMS telling you not to, that banks don't do this or don't do that, so be careful of what you do or interact when you see these SMSs. So some suggestions we came up with is that governments need to put limitation to govern the problems surrounding AI usage. And we also need to know how to educate groups of people regarding AI, especially the marginalized ones like women and girls in early primary level of education. Additionally, governments should also spread more information and resources to improve digital literacy of their populations, especially for people who live far from the city. And this is all that we've discussed so far. I hope that this was informative. Thank you.
Now, thank you for each and every group and the participants for sharing their experience and the ideas which they have discussed under the 3 segments, security and trust, resilience and ethical governance of emerging technology. Basis on that, we will be attending the sessions in the APR-IGF, and then we will be preparing a comprehensive youth policy statement which will be submitted or merged with the synthesis document of APR-IGF. So I would like to thank you, each one of you, for taking part proactively and stating the problems which you are currently facing and the probable solution to that. Now, would you like to add anything, Ankita, or maybe Nat?
We will just have an afternoon break until 3:30, I suppose.
Yeah,
Yes.
before that, we can take a group photo.
Yeah, so please, everyone gather here. We'll take a group photo from there. So everyone, please go there. Thank you. Bea and all the local hub participants, please also participate for the group photo. Can she hear us?
Yeah, people who are there online, they can turn on their camera, maybe.
Yeah. That's great.
We have to stand like this,
Oh.
taking the pictures of the people who are there online also. So you can also join.
No.
Well, we have to talk after this finishes, yeah? It's absolutely fantastic. We have
really great synergy to jumpstart you guys into the process. I'm so happy I came.
Please.
You should be in the picture.
No, no, it's okay.
No, please go ahead. We will click the picture. Okay, so guys, we will first we will click everyone. Please come. You guys can sit. Yeah, please sit. Yeah. Guys, please come here. Please. Sorry. Yeah, just a second. Let me arrange. I'll just call them. Come. Okay. So first we will take. Oh, sorry. First we will click a picture, and then we will make the video with everyone waving and shouting yIGF 2024. Okay? Yeah.
Please let us know when the countdown.
Yeah.
Thank you. Don't forget about us.
So 3, 2, 1. Cheese! Cheese! Okay, so now we will make a video and everyone please wave to the camera, okay? And you know what to say, right? You know. Okay,
With lots of energy, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
1, 2, 3. yIGF 2024. Wait a minute. Let's make one more video. Okay, so we will begin again. Start from like this, okay? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, start.